Hello, it's Andy Protheroe and Llewellyn, the Red Fox Labrador from PCR Global. There he goes. Just a quick post on two things. On how, well, actually, it's a post on how one thing can affect another thing. The post is on an update on my IOSH fellowship application and on subjectivity and sort of criteria. So fantastically, I put my portfolio in last year, tail end of last year. I've had a response to say that my portfolio has passed and that my blueprint has been assessed. My CPD amount of hours has been assessed. So I've passed that part, which I'm really, really glad at. Do I want to reach chartered fellowship level? Of course I do. That's what I'm going for. Because for me, that's a massive mark. 5 years of being a chartered member, and then this other piece of sort of evidence that I've got to provide, and that's the next part for me to discuss. That's subjectivity and criteria. Been on site with various companies this week, and a lot comes back to criteria. That's got to be risk criteria, training criteria. So let's think of criteria and subjectivity and objectivity within my application, because it's the same for any type of risk, really, risk management, isn't it? So I'm really thrilled that I've met this part, but I haven't passed the next part. This part is objective. You must show you've done this amount of hours. You must have been a chartered member for 5 years. I can pass that easily because I've done it. I can show it. It's objective. But the next part is going to be slightly subjective, because I'm now going to go on the 30th of April. I'm not going to go anywhere, sorry. I'm going to have an interview on the 30th of April. Think about the criteria within that interview. Unless they've got some type of tick list or checklist that says you must have sat on IOSH meetings and been on any panels, which I haven't. If they say that in their tick, I'm not going to meet that criteria. If they say you must provide evidence of how you've gone over and above for health and safety, I can certainly do that. But again, look at the criteria, look at the subjectivity within that, because what do you want? 60,000 views of your content on social media, whereas that content might be incorrect, it might be inadequate. Do you want to show that you've trained 10, 15, 20,000 sort of people for nothing? Yes, I can prove that, but then again, was that training any good? So it's very subjective. So it's as much as I'm really, really, really pleased with the process, because I really do want to sort of prove to myself and my family that all the hard work has been worth it. But ultimately, you can see within that criteria the objectivity and subjectivity, and then a judgment is going to be made on my suitability for that. And what we have to understand when we put workplace training programs in, and when we deal with people, then once judgment can be made incorrectly, or we just go back to our human biases, don't we? Or self-preservation, or whatever it is. So when you're making decisions on subjectivity, it's really, really important that you can evidence and then justify the statement given. I've been assisting an organisation with their onboarding of consultants and identifying, well, how do you assess their competence level? Because it shouldn't just be with an EBOSH general, with an EBOSH, any type of course like that. It can't be just that, because as we know, you could be a chartered member and know nothing about security, or nothing about radiation, or nothing about working at height. So it's an interesting subject. It's a critical subject. So yeah, fantastic. I'm on my journey, really pleased with that, and I got in with the £50, not the £435 that I believe it would be now. But just looking at the process, you can see that subjectivity, objectivity, and the importance of setting criteria for something that can be defended either way. You ready? Thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, stay productive.